Hey, what's up everyone? This is Ill Factor from beatacademy.com. Today in this video, I just want to show you how to get some great killer 808 sounds just using GarageBand with nothing but a couple plugins and some samples. So let's dive right in. So here's an empty project in GarageBand. What we're going to do is use our Finder window to locate an 808 sample that we're going to be using for this. So let's head over to our Finder. And I have a Beat Academy sample pack, which is where I'm going to grab the sample from. Now you can download the sample pack, yours absolutely free. Just go ahead and click the link below in the description box to download this. It comes with construction kits, one-shots, and a bunch of transition effect samples that you can use in your projects. So I'm going to head over to Kodak Green construction kit, grab the 808 sub file, and drag that right into GarageBand. So let's go ahead and play the file. Now, if you're listening on a laptop, definitely recommend that you plug in some headphones so you can check out some of the nuances that are going on with the sub bass. And we have a couple 808 notes happening in that riff. So we want to single out one note that we're going to be using so that we can pitch and create our own 808 bass lines with. So let's go ahead and double click this region and focus in on that third note. And the reason why for the third note is because it's the one with the longest sustain and really the longest tail. So if you import an 808 sample, in your projects, you want to get the one with the longest sustain and tail, because it'll give you a little bit more longevity when manipulating that sample. So we're going to go ahead and trim this all the way to that third note, not too far because we don't want to eliminate the attack. So I'll bring it right here. And then we're also going to go to the back end and trim that so that we get it right here. So now we have a single 808 note, and let's drag it over here and take a listen. Now it's cool. But what we have to do is find out the pitch of this 808 note. And the reason for that is if we know the pitch, then we know where we have to navigate to get the desired note that we want for our bass lines. Because we don't know the pitch, we're going to be spending some time transposing up or down until we can detect whether the pitch is aligned with the pitch of the melody or chord progression or whatever it is that we're trying to go. Now, I get a lot of tracks sent to me to just review and check out, and one of the biggest things I notice is that the 808 and its tuning is just really off with the melodies and chord progressions that they're implementing in their music. So we need to find the root note pitch of this 808. And a simple way to do that is just by using a tuner plugin. So we're going to go over here, click the tuner plugin here in GarageBand, and it's going to give us the pitch for this 808. So we notice that we're at A. So that means we have to transpose this 3 semitones up to C. Now the reason why I'm navigating over to C is because if you have an 808 set to C major, that's pretty much a blank slate. That means that you go pitch up or down to wherever it is that you're trying to head in with your bass line. So you always want to have your pitches or your samples pitched over to C major, because it's just going to make it that easier to detect what notes you should go to when choosing your bass line. So let's head over to the bottom of this region and click the follow tempo and pitch. That's going to give us the ability to now transpose this 1, 2, 3 semitones up. And if we check that with our tuner, we're at C. And that's where we want to be when shaping our bass lines. Now that I know that this 808 sample is at C, you can go ahead and craft a unique rhythm with that just by placing it within your project and whatever pattern you would like for your 808s. Now let's focus on shaping the actual tone and adding some harmonics to this 808. Even though there's some already on there, we can use this to really beef up the 808 and getting it sound a little bit more in your face. So let's head over to the mixing portion, and we're going to click the plugins drop-down menu. Right now, the only plugin on this 808 sample is just a gain. So we're going to start by using some distortion to add some harmonics to this. So distortion, let's try some overdrive. So we'll click the overdrive and see what that does to our 808. This is without it. So let's go ahead and crank up the drive a little bit more. And then what we're going to do is add a little bit more distortion, maybe something distortion 2. And this can add some really cool characteristics. We'll go from nasty to growl. And then once we've now you can go through the distortion types and find the one that best suits the character that you're looking for. Something like growl could go ahead and add some edge to the harmonics, or something nasty. Nasty adds that nice little emphasis on the attack. You can increase the pre-gain. Or some class A, B, hard or soft. And once you've chosen the type of distortion and harmonics that it's adding to your liking, go ahead and go to the EQ, and let's just take away some of the high end that we're getting, and that'll shave some of that off, so we can just focus on the lower end of the spectrum. This is also going to be to your preference as well, but using the EQ to take away some of the high end that we're not going to really want to focus on with the 808 can help just even focus more energy on the sub. Now I can go back to the track and just manipulate the distortion a little bit. If I didn't want the actual class A, can go back to a little bit of the growl. And now I'd have that there. And then we can go ahead and shape and create our own pattern using the sample with the effects already on there, just giving some more presence to that 808. Now, most likely some of the 808 samples that you might come across will already have some distortion and harmonics and some processing already on there. So the cleaner source of an 808, maybe if you get a just really dry, clean 808 sample, that might be a great place to start, because then you're really shaping and crafting it to your liking. Now you can also use a sine wave, just pitched all the way down, and repeat the same processes. I'm going to do that by just clicking the Add Track button here, hit Software Instrument, and hit Create. Now instead of the vintage piano that automatically comes loaded, I'm going to click this and choose AU Sampler. So that's going to give me the onboard sampler that comes with GarageBand. Now by default, you'll have a sine wave at 440, so that's at the perfect pitch there. That's just right where we need it to be. And then what we're going to do is just go make sure that we are setting the polyphony from 64 to 1. That way the notes don't overlap. And we just go a couple octaves lower. We got that nice sine wave there. And you can use the envelope shaper here to just add some release. So we'll crank this over. And maybe mess with the sustain a little bit. And decay time. Now we can go ahead and repeat the same processing that we've added over to that 808 sub. So let's go over here, add some of that distortion, that overdrive. And maybe add some distortion too. Change it from AB hard. And now we can go ahead and use the EQ to, once again, shape the tone. Now this might be a lot easier to use because now I have that sine wave already mapped out to the designated key and note that it needs to be. And I can just go ahead and actually play in the melody that I need that bass line to be. So we can go ahead and create a region and literally draw in the notes. And that might actually be a lot easier than having to transpose an 808 sample up or down several steps depending on what bass line you're trying to create. So now we can just simply just draw in the notes that we want to have played. Just make sure that you're going at a lower octave so that you're triggering that sub frequency. Well, I hope this video was helpful for you. And once again, as my gift to you for watching this video, I'd love to send you that sample pack that I mentioned earlier, where we grabbed the first 808 sample from. Now, this sample pack includes construction kits, one-shot samples, transition effects, and these are all royalty-free. That means you can use them in your projects, use them however which way you want, tweak them up, and share that music that you're creating with the rest of the world. It's yours absolutely free. Just click the link below in the description box, or you can visit www.beatacademy.com/pack. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe so you can stay up to date with upcoming videos that I've got coming out, and I'll see you next time.